World Bank has been also a proponent of a basket of currencies, of which gold is a part of the basket, and also for the BRIC nations to develop their own central bank. So it's going in that direction.
And we like you, believe that there will be food riots and martial law, and our belief is that's when we lose our world reserve currency status. I mean, look, we've got 46 million people, getting food stamps. So when you get this hyperinflation and people can't afford food anymore, what do you think they're going to do? Of course, they're going to riot. Are you personally prepared do you have like a safe haven or an exit strategy to get out of the United States, or do you have a bug out bag, gold, guns, and what's your strategy?
Well, I call them GCs, 3Gs, guns, gold, and a getaway plan.
There you go.
Absolutely. If you go to our website, trendsjournal.com, look at the forecast page, excuse me, and you'll see a forecast from 2001 that I made. Actually, in 2000, for our top trends 2001. It was December 14th, USA Today. And they used to run all of our top trends before I came out against the Iraq War, the Afghan War, and talked about the bubbles that were being filled up. And then nobody wanted to hear that anymore. But anyway, you'll see where a headline read, 2001 won't be our year, Trendseer says. And I said that Americans wouldn't be safe at home or abroad. This is several months before 9/11. Whether or not it was an inside job, the fact is the Twin Towers came down and the Pentagon was whacked. How it happened, I don't know, but it happened. I live I live north of New York City, up in Kingston, New York. 45 miles north of Ground Zero is the Indian Point nuclear power plant. As you can tell by my accent, I'm a New Yorker. I know this area like the back of my hand.
Yeah, I could hear a little accent in there.
A little bit. Well, when it came down, the first thing I did, I called my girlfriend at the time, a French woman who lived near me, and I said, get over here right away and get your money out of the bank. And then I picked up the phone, and I had all my money in CDs, and with Fleet Bank, which is gone now. I think Bank of America, one of those cartels, bought it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'd like my money wire transferred to the Rhinebeck branch. And I was going to pick the cash up. I'm ready to head to Canada, because if they whack the Indian Point nuclear power plant, there's going to be chaos like you've never seen. So anyway, as everybody's going into panic, I have my guns, my gold, and my getaway plan, but I don't have any money because Mr. Celente, Wall Street is closed, and certificates of deposit are financial instruments. But don't worry, rest assured. When Wall Street reopens, you'll be able to get your money. So I was ready to go then. I ran over. I went to the health food store. Now, of course, I have all these things. I had all dried fruits, dried nuts. I had my guns. I had jerry jugs full of gasoline and a road map to Canada by back routes away from reservoirs. I'm about 4.5 hours away. So that would be my exit strategy, to get away from the danger zone. And from there, then I could go from wherever I want.
And you're critical. I'm glad you kind of brought this up. You're critical of banks holding our deposits hostage.
I don't have any. I don't trust these SOBs for at all. I'm one of the guys that got F'd by MF Global.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So is there anything to learn from MF Global other than don't trust any bank?
Yes, that you don't own your money unless you own it.
Okay.
Unless you have it in your possession, it's not yours, period, paragraph.
Get it into gold, get it into silver. Is that what you'd recommend?
And get it out of the country.
And get it out of the country. That's one of the things we recommend here, that one of the few things that the U.S. government still doesn't tax is foreign real estate. We recommend that. We also recommend getting some gold and silver out of the country as well. I want to talk to you for a second about the Trayvon Martin case and Obama, and why do you think Obama feels the need to stick his nose in this and say, if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon?
Yeah, if I had a son and he was white and got killed, he'd look like me.
Right.
What's the big deal over here? In the sense that, there's people are being killed all the time and brutally, and by police also. So let's get this straight. Is America a racist nation? Of course there's racism in this country. Listen, I'm Italian-American. You know how disgusted I am with the Sopranos and Jersey Shore. Try doing that with another nationality. Let you just pick your nationality and do the stereotype. So is that there? Of course it's there. But let's get this straight as well. We elected a black president. You want to talk about racism? The stupid people are stupid people racist? Of course they are. Are ignorant people prejudiced? Of course they are. This is not a racist country, because if it was, we would not have a black president, and we would not have a black attorney general, and we would have not had Condoleezza Rice, and we would not have Susan Rice in the UN now. What a bunch of crap that is. It's a bunch of politicians, just like the prostitute media, grab on to anything that they could give them ratings. This is a ratings game for Obama, as I see it.
That's the way I see it, too. We're speaking with Gerald Celente today on Stansberry Radio. To learn more about Gerald, go to trendsresearch.com. Just two more topics, Gerald. Again, we want to thank you for your valuable time. First thing is, student loan debt recently topped $1 trillion. We've been critical of student debt and the government's financial interest on our radio show. I know you share some of the same views we do. Is there a way to reform higher education? If so, how?
The whole system, to me, stinks. It's only good if you're going to real specialty in terms of medicine and engineering. The hard sciences, that's one thing. But the soft sciences, hey, how about a degree in foreign relations or women's studies? I mean, the names of the courses that they make up, these are university degrees in worthlessness. To me, it's just another con game. Business administration, corporate finance, business law. What a bunch of waste of time. I've gotten these degrees. I have my master's in public administration. It wasn't worth anything back when I got it in 1970, and it's not worth anything now. So I don't believe that. I think people are wasting their money by going to university when they should really follow their passion and do work within a company that could help push them forward. So taking on these mountains of debt and getting out of school with $100,000 in debt and a piece of paper, as I said, that's a degree in worthlessness. I mean, you could have owned a home almost for that much, and had something to show for it. So, no, it's not going to work until the system is reformed. Our educational system stinks. And I'm not saying it because that's just a phrase I'm throwing out, because I know how I suffered through it and hate it every day. You look at global standards. America doesn't even win, place, or show in educational standards. The system stinks. So it's not going to. You're not going to fix it by throwing money into it, and you're not going to fix it by spending less. You're only going to fix it by totally reforming it, and that means making it an education system for the 21st century. The education system that we have has been designed by the British during the industrial age to get people to follow orders and work in mass. That's all it is. And you look at the testing system and it proves it. Everybody think the same. We all need the same answer now. And don't think for yourself. Think as we tell you to think. So that's just a waste of dough until the whole thing is reformed.
All right, one more topic for you, Gerald, and I'm going to switch gears a little bit, but this does tie into kind of like the accountability of Americans. You're featured in a new film titled Heal Yourself. It looks interesting. How'd you get involved, and what is your goal?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I have an honorary doctorate from the National University of Health Sciences in complementary medicine. My ex-wife, way back when, was dying of colitis, and she was down to, 78 pounds. And I was living in Chicago at the time. It was the late 70s, mid-70s. And they wanted to do a hysterectomy on her and put one of those bags in the side of her. And she's like 28 years old.
It'll change your life forever to do that.
And here I am. I'll never forget, we were in the office. This guy was the head of the gynecology department in Northwestern University. I forget his name. And I was a young guy. I was a kid. And I'm asking him questions, and I'm saying, yeah, I heard things about vitamins, or he looks at me. Well, and I said, I heard also about the foods that you eat could make a difference. This guy threw down his pencil, and he said, I've never been grilled so much in my life, and asked us to leave.
Wow. Unbelievable.
This is in the mid to late 70s.
He didn't want to be questioned. He wanted to have the God doctor complex and
That's
just
right.
deliver
and this is
orders.
Back then, it was a different trip,
Right.
Now, of course, I would have grabbed the guy by his throat, But anyway, so we moved back east, and we lived. I mentioned Rhinebeck, and we live over in across the river is Woodstock, and someone introduced us to a chiropractor. And in those days, like a lot today as well, chiropractors knew much more about natural healing than anyone else. And to make a very long story short, he said that the word doctor is, educator and healer, and I'm going to teach you how to heal yourself. And he did. And she perfectly healed. And I wrote the book. I didn't write the book. The first book I worked on, I should say, was called Natural Healing back in the mid-1980s. So that's my involvement in this. I don't eat corporate food. I don't go to doctors. I mean, the only time I've been to a doctor, in the last 12 years, 15 years, was when I got Lyme's disease. It's very prevalent around here. And so when it calls for, strong medicine, like antibiotics in a case like that, and I got it twice. The second time I got it, I was on my back for about 3 months. I go the traditional route when it's appropriate. I mean, again, it's complementary medicine. But otherwise, I wouldn't take Lipitor or any of these drugs as a healing method, because the fact of the matter is, there's no allotropic drug that cures a chronic degenerative disease. And I believe that to heal the body, it takes natural healing. So that's why I'm so much into it. And but by the way, when did this come out?
I'm not sure when it came out. It came out, I think, like a year ago that they finally put it all together. And you can go to healyourself.tv for more information.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's why I thought it was recent, and I don't remember it recently. But anyway, that's my involvement in it, and I'm still very much involved with it. And I believe that, chiropractics are, the chiropractors of all of the doctors today have the broadest range of knowledge in this field.
Yeah, and I think it kind of, when I learned about this, it speaks well for who you are as an individual, because not only are you outspoken, you'll certainly make people angry because a lot of people love to live in their little denial systems, but you're all about the mind, body, and spirit, and you really do care about, America and people in general and your own health. So I thought it was real interesting.
Well, thank you. And really, and thank you for saying that, because, every day we get thank you letters. And my favorite, the letter that I get, is when people say, thank you for inspiring me. Because nothing will change until the people change. It's not about government. It's about the individual. And when the individual raises themselves to the highest levels that they can and finds the greatness within them, that's when things will change, because each of us has that special gift. Everybody has at least one special gift. And when you bring that special gift to the greatest height that it could go to, then everything changes. Because with that comes courage. It comes respect and dignity and integrity and passion. And to me, when that happens, then everything will change. There's that wonderful Hindu saying, when the teacher's ready, the student appears. And anybody that's practiced in anything knows what I'm talking about. Because you don't get good at anything unless you practice, and if you find a great teacher, that's really, that really brings you to the other level. I don't believe anything's going to change until the people are ready. When the people are ready, then the leader will appear. That's the way I believe it.
I totally agree. Get on the road to self-actualization. It's the most empowering thing anyone can do for themselves. Well, Gerald, I know you're very busy, and we really, really appreciate your time today. Love to have you back on in the future.
Oh, thank you, and thank you so much for the great work that you folks do.
All right. Thank you, Gerald. Take care.